guys are awesome. Partly because of your connection to a great school, and partly because of where you're relocating your company to. And we'll get to all that. So tell us first your personal story. Tell us, forget the business side for a second. Tell us who you are and where you got there. Josh, we'll start with you.
Oh man. So I grew up in, a little close, too close, or? Grew up in Waco, Texas. I went to high school, went to school there my whole life. Then out of school, went to college at Arkansas State, played golf, and transferred down to Texas to Mary Hardin Baylor. And then met my wife. I was just telling Jimmy this story the other day on the phone. She was at Baylor, I was at Mary Hardin Baylor. My mom kept telling me, sorry, hey, you got to come to the office. There's this, captain of the cheerleading squad. But yeah, my mom kept begging me to come meet her, and I happened to drop by the office one day, and she had got a hard time about me. I, been getting a hard time about her. So I come upstairs. My mom was working for a trauma unit at Hillcrest Hospital in Waco, and Caroline was pre-med there, so she'd been interning with that group for a couple of years. So I come upstairs, out of the elevator. She's sitting in the hallway on a rolly chair, and I was like, "Oh, you must be Caroline," and she's like, "Oh, you must be Josh." And yeah, it's kind of awkward moment there, and started dating right away, and we've been married for 4 years. Right after we got married, we moved to Houston, and she was studying for the MCAT and GMAT, decided on grad school. I was playing professional golf, traveling on the mini tours. Didn't have status on the PGA Tour or anything, but hopped around to pretty much any mini tour you can think of out there. A lot of long, lonely car drives to all those little towns. But yeah, when she got into grad school at A&M, and I said, hey, quit chasing a little white ball for a while, do something a little more stable. I had a lot of history with wine and sales, so I was doing that when I'd either be in off season or at home for a week. I would work for a Texas-owned winery that a family had started. So it gave me a lot of history, or a lot of experience in the wine side and sales, and I majored in entrepreneurship and marketing. Was very entrepreneurial from a young age. Kind of left that part out, but always knew I wanted to do something in business, but was very focused on golf for a long time, and always knew the business would kind of come around. I dabbled in a couple things, and then really when she got into grad school, I wanted to take a job where I could have some free time, which sales does allow you to kind of build your own schedule. So I did that, knew that eventually start something, and nutrition was always a big part of my life. My parents are very health-driven people, and I really kind of geeked out on nutrition and the science side when I was probably early high school, and I started kind of dabbling and making my own stuff when I was a junior in high school.
Nutrition stuff.
Nutrition stuff, yeah. Just nutrition stuff, yeah. Just nutrition, yeah. Keep it at that. So, yeah, and always loved it because you'd go to the store and when you start learning about health supplements and what you want to take to stay active, and then you're getting drug tested in college, and then depending on what tour you're playing on, you might have some drug testing. But it was really just wanting to put the cleanest stuff in my body from an early age, and I always want to do something in the health space business-wise. But like I said, I was so busy traveling, playing golf, and then once I took this job in College Station as a territory sales rep, and then Jake and I met shortly after I moved there. He was in the same grad program as Caroline. That's how we met. We were also going to the same gym at the time. That really probably said hi a few times, I guess. He was a 6 a.m.er. I was like a nooner or something. And yeah, we started talking about our mutual interest in nutrition and business, and kind of led us down this path where we are now.
Okay. So just to clarify, your mom said there's this girl I want you to meet. She was the cheerleading captain. And how long did it take you to go to the office?
And it was a 45-minute drive,
Okay.
It took me about a month, to be honest. Yeah, it took me about a month.
Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. Jake, tell us your story.
Sure. So I'm from a little town kind of just north of Corpus Christi, Texas, if anybody knows where that is. And I don't know, we were talking with Chad yesterday about Future Farmers of America, 4-H, if anybody knows what that is. But just to give you an idea of this town I'm from, the whole school and community shuts down the week of the livestock show because every single kid is in there. So yeah, so I raised chickens for 4 years, so I can, me and Chad both, I guess, could tell you a whole lot about chickens. But anyhow, yeah, so after high school and leaving Cal Allen, I went to College Station, finished my 4 years at Texas A&M there, got a degree in biomedical science, thought I wanted to go to med school, so I ended up taking an MCAT a couple times, got a job at an allergist clinic there in town, and just trying to pad that resume. After that, didn't happen for me. I just figured I needed to kind of move on, try something else out, because obviously this just isn't, the route God's telling me I want to go down. And so I thought for a while there, I'd always really been intrigued, by the physicality of, the military, and I already had the haircut, so I was like, I'm just gonna, join the Navy and go that route. Apparently I was too banged up from my surgeries and playing days in high school, so got denied there, and so I was really just kind of searching for things, and I was kind of had this plan B of going and getting my master's and kind of getting on the business side of healthcare. So that's when I entered this master's program where I met Josh's wife, Caroline, is a master's in healthcare administration. And after about a year of that, so it might have been better if I'd only signed up for like a 2-year program, but since I was working full time and doing this, it was 3 years. So after about a year of that though, and just really not enjoying the schoolwork whatsoever, I was like, man, I cannot put in another 2 years of this. And this was about the same time where me and Josh had kind of really started talking about 2Fit and getting this ball rolling, and I really knew I was onto something here, and I was really intrigued by it. And so, yeah, within about a month of each other, we launched this. I dropped the grad program, and I finally got out of that allergy clinic where I just really did not enjoy going to work every day, like whatsoever. So, yeah.
Great. Okay. So you guys, tell us about the conversation when you decided, okay, we're going to form this company, 2Fit Guys. By the way, Gary Baker and I were talking in St. Louis. We're thinking about doing a knockoff company, a competitor called 2 Fat Guys.
We started talking about it in February, I guess, of 2015.
Yeah, I had just met Josh, and we just had like a workout at the gym, and he was like, hey, you want to come have a beer at the house? And I was like, first of all, I don't really know this guy.
Healthy beer.
Why are we having a beer after workout, and whatever, but right, exactly. No, but yeah, so I showed up at Josh's house, and I didn't have anything else better to do, so yeah. So we went over there, and honestly, we just had like a really just genuine, nice conversation, just getting to know each other out on his back porch, and this is sounding pretty weird already. Yeah, Caroline now calls me like a second husband, which I don't own that. That just seems weird to me. But
when I'm on the bad side,
Yeah. We just had a good conversation about, we really just viewed a lot of things pretty much eye to eye. We're the same on, kind of our exercise and longevity, mentality, our spiritual walk, nutrition, and, business. Kind of, we had the same passion kind of for life, and just wanted to help others and really be the best, people that we can be, in creating lives that we were passionate about and really enjoyed, just, waking up and just wanting to do, basically what we wanted to do that day, and helping others out and just living kind of a passionate life. And then we started talking about, supplements and that sort of thing, and I had, so I was taking, I'd always been a consumer of nutritional supplements for a long time, since high school, and back in college I ended up taking one that, a few people found dead on. There was 2 people in Fort Hood, and then also a marathon runner in London, the London Marathon, who fell dead while using the same product. So I was like, man, this is when I really need to start looking into this stuff. So that's when I started doing the research, and we kind of had a conversation about that. And Josh was saying, yeah, man, really don't trust a lot of things out there. I've been making my own stuff for years. So that's when we first kind of started dabbling into it. And then there's another conversation, probably just a few months down the road from that, I was supposed to be in an online class and actually had the lecture up on my computer in the background. And I don't know why, but we were on the phone for some reason, and we just finally said, hey, let's just do this thing for real. And that's when I just started writing down all these names of and different ingredients, but all these like stupid, silly names that we were gonna put like on shirts that we wanted to market, which we haven't done yet. But you know, we wanted to make one for CrossFitters because you always see them with their shirts off. So I want to make one that says like, "Don't worry, this won't be on long," or something like that. You know. But I was just writing down all these names and different ideas for the company and this and that while this lecture is going on in the background. And that was just a great indicator for me that like, you know, this is something that I'm really passionate about and would much rather be doing, so.
That's great. And so tell us about the product line. You're selling supplements?
Well, on that note, real quick, I remember you called me one night. I gotta give him full credit. He came up with the name of the company. He did. He called me and he said, "Hey, let's call it Too Fit." Or I think maybe he said, "Hey, let's be the Too Fit guys, but we'll do TOO instead of TWO." And we actually went back and forth on a long time, even when we were structuring the company, as to what the name would be. We settled on Too Fit just because it was a little more marketable, and we put our goofy mugs on the bottle. So that kind of got the best of both worlds there.
Do you have any bottles here? Any supplements here?
I think we said
Yeah, I brought a couple at the back there,
Okay.
and brochures and everything.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the product itself, and tell us how the business is going, where you're at now, and you got some big plans coming up.
Yes, when we started putting pen to paper and kind of tweaking some of the stuff we were already making for mass use, you know, there's a lot of products that are the same, and we didn't want. Is that me? We didn't want to compete with the big protein companies of the world. We really wanted to create products that were different. You know, products that you didn't have to have 20 bottles in your gym bag, you know, to get the same results. We wanted 2 bottles. And so it was, how can we make the best product that people really know what they're putting in their body? And so we kind of had like 3 things, you know, quality, transparency of, you know, you pick up a lot of products and there's proprietary blends on it, and you go, I don't know how much of this I'm taking, and they call it in the industry, they call it fairy dusting, so that they may take a very expensive raw material, and they may have a proprietary blend that's 5,000 milligrams, and they'll put 2 milligrams of the most expensive ingredient in that proprietary blend to then market that they have that ingredient. And then a lot of times there's stuff that's completely enlisted. And that's where you get a lot of the products, like Jake was talking about, where they're actually methamphetamine type substances, and these pre-workouts or energy formulas, people don't even know what they're taking. Fortunately and unfortunately, companies get busted all the time for doing stuff like that. So somebody takes one of these products and they're like, oh man, it really worked, you know? Yeah, no wonder it worked. There's some pretty bad stuff in there. But yeah, so we wanted to have the quality, we wanted to have the transparency, we wanted people to be able to trust what they were putting in their body, and then the education. You know, we really wanted to stand behind our ingredients and have just these complete formulas. So, you know, we dove in to make a natural pre-workout product. So, you know, we have people that use it whether they're going out for a long, you know, 50, 100-mile bike ride, or they're about to do a weight session, either one. And it was, how can we create products that you know, similar to somebody said earlier, not the shotgun approach necessarily, but still effective for a wide range of disciplines. So that's what we created with our first product, or we launched 2 at one time, a pre-workout and then a post-workout recovery formula. And that was, again, trying not to compete with the proteins of the world. How can we make a product that really, you know, a lot of people were if they wanted like optimal recovery, we're carrying a few different things with them to the gym. It was, we can put all this in one package, make it better than those, and that's what we did. So we have a product called Moxie and a product called Rally.
So you guys have benefited from somebody a lot of people in this group know very well, the mentorship of Lauren Cook. Tell us a little bit about that relationship.
Well, I met him through Josh here.
Yeah, I've known Lauren for, I guess, a little over 4 years now. We met through a mutual friend, his personal trainer, and Adam and I became friends when Carolina and I were in Houston. I was actually playing at a golf club where Adam was a trainer also. And probably within the first 6 weeks of knowing Adam, I met Lauren. And while we lived in Houston, we just hung out, always talked about business ideas. We go to Top Golf, which started down in Texas, and just talk about crazy business stuff, And then when the time came for Jake and I to do this, we really, sought out his advice, and
Yeah,
it's been
he's a great guy to have on board. Couldn't have done it without him. That's for sure.
pivotal along the way, for sure.
Yeah, he's a great guy to have on board, accounting, legal, both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your biggest opportunity in 2016 based on where the company is right now?
Yeah, biggest opportunity. We got so many things in the works kind of right now, and just so many, these things are great because they're basically like accountability for us. This is my third, this is his fourth, but I remember when he went to his first one last year in Phoenix, he was like, I'm showing up here with all these big business owners and entrepreneurs, and they asked me what do I do, and at that time, TwoFit was just an idea, so he was like, well, I kind of have an idea for a business, but it's not really anything.
It always starts
right now. Yeah. And so now it's actually, fast forward a year later, it's actually come to fruition. We have actual, product in hand. We're an actual company. We have, accounts in all the major markets in Texas. We're picking up gyms and clinics in Alabama, some here in Florida. We've got some hits from Ontario. So, but yeah. And if people have heard of the Spartan race, it's a big obstacle course race. It's actually worldwide. And they have a pretty lengthy kind of approval process, and you have to meet some certain criteria your actual products do, and able to get on board with those guys and be sponsored, sponsor at their events. And so I started that process with these guys a long time ago, trying to get us into that door. And so we finally got approved maybe about a month ago, and it's still been a very long process, even like nailing down what events we can go to, what products you can have at those events, because these big national brands have exclusivity in certain hydration is a category that you can have exclusivity in, things like that. But anyhow, long story short, we're approved with those guys for the full races in Texas this year, and there's 15,000 to 20,000 people at every single one of those events. And so basically every racer that goes by will get a sample of our pre-workout before the race, and then Rally, the recovery products right there waiting on them after. So that's going to be the hugest probably exposure event for us in this next year, definitely.
That's great. So you guys have the benefit of this network, and one of the things as entrepreneurs we look to do is remove the obstacles that are preventing our company from moving to the next level, right? So is there an obstacle that you guys face right now that's kind of top of mind that you'd say, hey, we've got to overcome this?
Definitely distribution. Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So, because we have, I guess, kind of two models the way we sell our products is Jake and I pound the pavement a lot throughout Texas. Every week we're on the road to San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston. We pretty much rotate cities. And we'll go on the road to those cities for 2 days a week and just really cold call. Meet a lot of gyms, we'll go knock on the door, call them in advance. We know friends that know the owner of the gym, and we set up a meeting. We do have a distributor in Texas. They're located in San Antonio. They're fairly small. They have a lot of distribution with H-E-B, which is H-E-B is a really big retailer and the largest in Texas. And they have a healthy living section that they launched, I guess, a few years ago. And it's kind of like their own little aisle of Whole Foods. They don't have vegetables and stuff in there, but it's all the proteins and nuts and all that stuff. We finalized shelf space with them a couple weeks ago. We're just waiting on kind of the final paperwork to see kind of a launch date into those stores. There'll be about 150 grocery stores.
That's awesome.
And it's great there. Functional distributors are down in San Antonio. They already handle DOD straight to H-E-B. So that'd be awesome for us, that aspect. But when we get these contacts from out of state, they want to sell our products in their gyms or clinics in Alabama and Florida and Canada, it's costly to ship it. We've been shipping it, so we do 6-pack cases. And we look at it's just kind of an upfront expense we're willing to do right now to keep our foot in the door. But you have to look at either, okay, you do Amazon fulfillment, or you do a fulfillment center, or you try to get in with a distributor. There are really only two big boys in the game on the supplement side, Europa and Lone Star Distribution. and your margins are really getting slashed. So, it's tough. Like Texas, we can handle, but it's figuring out how to get that product out of state, because we don't want to say no to that business. And we have a great web team in Houston, and we're getting a lot more traffic on our website. So we do a lot of direct-to-consumer online, which obviously we can handle out of College Station. But it's when you're talking about getting a retailer and you're shipping cases, it's quite costly. So that's something we're really looking into right now. I think that's probably number one for sure.
Okay, so in case anybody has experience or contacts in the distribution business, here's a great opportunity to make a positive impact. You get questions from the group for these guys? Anything you'd like to know more of? Mickey just cut me off. That must be a signal.
In an oversaturated market, how do you stand out online?
Online, specifically?
We have we have a lot of good traction on social media, and Alan Sandy helped us out huge with getting that going. So we have a lot of good traction on Instagram, Twitter. Facebook's kind of so-so, but really just being personable. We have our caricatures on the bottles on there, the no proprietary blends things, being totally transparent, because those bigger companies in that saturated market, that's really that was a motivation for us to even get in there, because we were just tired of the neon and the greens and it just basically looked like a machine produced this. It's not like, yeah, exactly.
I would say that you kind of touched on it there on the social media side, which we have a phone call at least every other week with Sandy and Al. They're awesome, and they've helped us a lot. And we were even having a conversation, I guess, in early December with Alvin. And so when we first started launching like our social media stuff, we did Instagram, Twitter. It took us a long time to come around to Facebook. It's been good to us, so thank you for drilling that in. But the human aspect was, we're not going to put the company name on social media, and we didn't do it for a long time. Which our company is 2Fit USA. So the 2Fit guys, we wanted to be that human element, So we do a lot of stuff on social media. That we have a podcast. We've done 7 now. We just started our blog this month. So we do a lot of things to people that it's human. They may see a video on Instagram that we do that's 10 seconds of us during a workout. It's not product driven. There's very little product on our Instagram profiles, but people go to our website through our Instagram. We get a ton of clicks from Instagram to our website, and it's all because they see us doing muscle ups or something goofy. You know what I mean? And we did a Christmas giveaway where every day we were giving away 2 bottles of product to people that commented or tagged a friend. And it's just very little product driven. It's all about kind of our story and what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We signed up for a half Ironman, so we talk about that, and then people are like, oh, well, these guys happen to sell products that are all natural and really good. And so it's almost this roundabout way that we get that traffic directly to the product. So that's been our biggest, we get that question a lot. It's, it's a saturated market in the supplement world. And it is, but we feel like we've definitely differentiated ourselves with the human element and the quality and the transparency.
Great, good. Last question. Anybody else? I think there was another hand. Dave.
Well, it seems like you're doing a lot of going to events, trying to win over athletes one by one, and calling on gyms one by one. But is there a network of gyms maybe that would be that crucial customer to really launch you guys in a hurry?
There's definitely some bigger, accounts out there, that's for sure. Like, we have an event set up this next Friday with the biggest CrossFit gym. It's in the biggest CrossFit gym in Texas, and if you're the biggest in Texas, you're one of the biggest in the nation.
Of course.
Yeah, naturally.
We like to think so.
But yeah, basically, if you get in with these guys, and then the other surrounding gyms in the area realize that you're in there, that's their basically validity point saying, okay, these guys are legit, we can bring them in as well. So that's CrossFit, yeah, East Downtown.
We talked about this last night. Was it me and you, Alvin? We were talking about CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
Jake and I have a lot of history with CrossFit, so and the fact that people are very knowledgeable in that community was definitely an entry point for us. we're talking about having like that focused effort on, you know, if you look up like Google Maps and you're in Texas, you'll see 1,000 CrossFit gyms, right? But maybe only 300 of those even do any retail. And then of those 300, really only 50 are big players. And of those 50, 10 influence everyone else. So it's like really dialing it down to go, well, we don't have to visit 1,000 gyms, we got to visit the top 50. That's a big thing. We've discussed with Lauren about Lifetime Fitness because our products they're a little more costly than the average. They're not the most expensive on the market, but they're certainly not the cheapest, just cost-wise. And so finding the crowds that really will pay for the quality is big. And you know, having gyms like, I don't know if you've heard of Equinox, is a really nice facility. I know they have a lot in Chicago. There's one in Dallas, New York, and then Lifetime Fitness, which is kind of a little better chain, you know. So getting into some of those, Dave, yeah, that's definitely a big goal for sure.
Okay, connect with these guys. Last question, really important. Where are you moving your corporate office to?
Yeah, so Caroline did an internship last summer for Baylor Scott and White. Baylor's the largest non-hospital organization, nonprofit organization in Texas. And I guess Baylor just bought Scott and White, so the name's kind of changing. But she did an internship there last year in Fort Worth, and then they extended her offer right when she left. So she starts July 1st, and then she has a 1-year residency there. So we'll relocate in June to Fort Worth. We're already looking at places, looking at some
So I'm coming
facilities.
too.
So, yeah.
Got it. Let's hear it for these guys.